so I thought what I'd do is just to wrap this up before the open discussion. I only have 5 minutes. Is to just tell you a little bit about the experience that we've had in CIT. Since, to my knowledge, we were the first department that did implement ebooks here, and I want to just give you a brief overview of that, if I might. And let's see here. There it is, right there. Okay. All right. There we go. And like I said, I'm just going to run through this quickly because I want to make sure we have enough time for questions and interaction. But we actually began our implementation at CIT 110. Many of you know the course. We run 40 sections per term, about 800 students per term. It covers office applications, computer concepts, and we've added employability skills, group work, and other activities to the course. It's a 3-textbook set that covers those 3 areas. Here's how we implemented it. In spring of 2009, we selected 6 sections: a day section, a night section, an adjunct section, 2 full-time sections, and we did a trial just in those 6 sections alone. And we surveyed the students at the end. It was the concepts book, not the office book. It was the concepts book that we tested in those 6 sections. And the result of the survey was good. Students said they liked it, so we moved in the fall of 2009 and converted all of the sections of the course to the e-book concepts only. So they still had a print office book, they had a print soft skills book, but they had an e-book for computer concepts. Again, surveyed the students. The student says, yeah, it's good, but if you think, because we told them in the survey, we're thinking of going to the office text, which is the step-by-step to create office documents, Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. And they said, you got to be careful with that one. So we said, okay. But we went ahead anyway and implemented the full e-book across all sections of all courses in the spring a year ago, and we've continued the implementation this spring. So here's what we found. The faculty acceptance was pretty good, and again, in those 40 sections and with the vast array of faculty that we have, some faculty clearly did not want to do it. Some faculty clearly did want to do it, so there were mixed reviews on the part of the faculty. Most of the students accepted it with no problem, and once the publisher statistics bear this out, once they understand the features of the e-book, particularly in terms of searching and other context features, they liked that, and so they were comfortable with it. Students with disabilities was an issue here, so we worked with the Office of Student Disabilities and actually provided hard copies to students with disabilities. Some other issues that we ran into: the Higher Ed Opportunity Act was amended in July of 2010, and we talked about this at lunch and some of our other discussions, but HEOA, any college that takes HEOA money has to tell students today where they can save money on any course materials, any and all course materials. So by law, we have to tell students where there is a better, cheaper alternative for textbooks and other course materials. That was July 2010. We had pretty good support from the bookstore. They really didn't have a choice. We put the e-book in there. They marked it up. We had pretty good support from administration, particularly when it came to some of the cost factors. But one of the administrative concerns here was that we put in our syllabus the cost to purchase the e-books online versus the cost to purchase them in the bookstore. So the business office said, and when the bookstore found out about it, they said, you can't do that. We said, well, that's federal law, and we're going to do it. And but they said, well, can you take the price out, the price differential, just let them know what it is. So that's what we did. So we took the price out of the subsequent semester syllabus, but we still show students that they can buy direct, or they can buy through the bookstore. Here's what the cost factors boil down to. Before implementation, students were spending $165 net in the bookstore for 3 textbooks, for a trial of Office 2010, and for 1 gigabyte or 512 megabyte USB in a package, in a bundle. That gave them access to the course website, but they had the hard copy books. During the trial, we were able to cut $20 off the price. Kurt, we asked Kurt, what's by cutting it $20, what happened? They feel, the bookstore feels that there's a magic number around $150, where students will complain a little less if it's less than $150 than they do when the books cost over $150. In the full implementation, we were able to bring the cost down to $110, which is what the current price is in the bookstore right now, versus $142 through the bookstore. So obviously students that are on financial aid, book vouchers and other things, buy it through the bookstore. Most of our students are buying it direct. So we're estimating that, again, since it's been 2 years since we had that $165 price, the books probably would have gone up in print to about $175, and now we're down to $110, and so there's about a 37% savings. But there are other issues that enter into this discussion that you all know so well since you're here in day-to-day with our students. First of all, we have 277 sections of developmental RDG, MAT, and ENG in this semester's schedule. I counted them. That doesn't count ESL and Bessel. So we're dealing with a huge developmental student population here. Many of you can't read to begin with. So that's a consideration that we're all dealing with on a daily basis here. Most of the courses have a strenuous reading requirement, particularly the quote-unquote college-level courses. And a lot of the books, particularly in our department, have extensive step-by-step that students have to follow the step-by-step to complete the project, etc. And of course, the time commitment is an issue that we're all dealing with. We're feeling that students are not spending the amount of time that they need to. So what's our next step? We have put hard copies in the library, so for students who have an objection to the hard copy, they can check it out from the library. We're going to be implementing a printable option, hopefully in the fall. Downloadable text, right now the texts we're using are not downloadable, so students have to read them online, which speaks to some of the issues about internet usage and the like. And we're also looking for full mobile support. We run this course in community-based organizations around Boston, several of them, including the New England Center for Homeless Vets and some of the others. And in the community, we find that the e-book issue it really rears its ugly head because these students do not have internet access for the most part. So that's a consideration that we've been dealing with. So in conclusion, e-books are here. The state of Florida and California have mandated e-book adoption by most of them by 2013, particularly in Florida. And so K-12 does not have a choice in those states. We have some other models for full e-book implementation. We're a large Cisco Academy here. Cisco has all e-book implementations. And we think, like the publishers have mentioned, that students are going to come here more e-book literate going forward. So I don't think it'll be such an issue as big an issue as it is right now. So questions, discussions,